Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is another unscripted auction review. Today we're looking at a 2000 Jeep Cherokee XJ on Bring a Trailer. This just launched a few minutes ago. Already got a $2,500 bid. Let's see here. First glance, it's a black, which I believe it was just called black that year. Limited was the top of the line, of course. 2000, second to last model year. From the photo, it looks pretty good at first. I see the chrome grille, which was on the 2000s and the earlier 2001 Limiteds. Later in the model year, they consolidated Limited and Classic into a single trim level. Has the correct light silver icon wheels. I believe they had a more specific term than light silver, sparkle silver, or something like that, but either way, which are correct for a Limited. White outline letters were not, but you know, it's 24 years later. Of course, they'd replace the tires. It has the correct pinstripe on it, and it appears to have the factory deep tint glass, although it actually looks like it might be darker in the back, so it may not be factory. It's got the factory optional fog lights, and it looks like the front, the little spoiler here, the lip, whatever you would call that, where that attaches, something looks a little off here. It looks like it sticks out a little too much. We'll take a look at the pictures. It's in Delaware, 124,000 miles. Actually, looks really good for 124,000, especially black. Let's see, automatic. All the Limiteds were automatics. All the 2000 Limiteds were select track. In 2001, you could, as they combined the two, you could also get command track. Black paint, agate leather, blah, blah, blah. It does have an aftermarket CD player here with a bunch of aftermarket stuff and an aftermarket alarm. It says it includes service records. That's nice. Let's see here. I'm going to read the description. It was acquired by the seller in 2002. They've had it for a while. Let's see here. Chrome grille and liftgate accent. I didn't mention that, but it does have the chrome liftgate back here. Accent, which was part of that deal as well. I know some of the Japanese market ones also had the chrome grille and chrome tailgate, and so did the Freedom Edition, had a chrome grille, a 2000 only, I believe. In fact, I know. Let's see what else here. This is pretty much a rehash of what was said before. It doesn't tell us much interesting. I'll zip through this and then we'll head to the gallery. That's the more interesting report. All right, so we've got accident report entries are noted in 2001, 2009, and 2012, the latter of which states that the vehicle was declared a total loss. Oh, okay. Well, that's not good. It does say that there are collision repair invoices, so we'll see. It's definitely going to limit bidding. Let's see where it is. Like I said, at first glance here, I'm not seeing any obvious damage to it, other than that front bumper. That might be. But I'll take a better look in a second here. It's got BF Goodrich long trail tires. I think that's a mid-level BF Goodrich. Nothing else interesting here. Yeah, those windows look way too dark in the back. Those are not a factory tint. It might have had the factory deep tint. In fact, I think all the Limiteds did in 2000. So I think somebody's put more tint on it. I don't know what the laws are in Delaware. Maybe they can't tint the front windows. Either way, inside I see a little wear on the leather. We'll look at the pictures in more detail, but they mentioned the Sony CD stereo, Explode amplifiers, JL subwoofers. So yeah, very 2002 era aftermarket audio, I'm guessing here. Left rear motor, window motor does not work. So the actual motor, that's interesting. It's not usually a fail point, but I don't think it'd be too hard to replace that. Let's see, we've got that. Wow, that is such a 2002 head unit. That's funny. I see the select track, cruise control. I think cruise control might have been an option on the Limiteds that year. I'll have to look, but either way, most of them are going to have it. So the owner bought it with 14,000 and added 110,000 miles. We'll get a better engine photo in a moment here. I'm sure it's a little dirty, which I actually like to see. I don't like it when they spruce them up too much. I don't see ABS. It does have the dual fans in it. I didn't actually notice about the tow package. We'll take a look-see in a second. Recent work said an oxygen sensor and the battery. Fairly simple stuff. Our first underbody shot here. Again, I'm sure we'll have better. I don't see the panels or the splash guards are missing. The one there, and then there should be one that kind of covers behind the fog lights as well. It's hard to tell, but I think that one's missing too. Not uncommon. Those tend to just sort of fall apart. The interesting thing is that the front under here is quite pitted. Let's see if we get a better photo of that. If not, I'll zoom in on this one later. But and that looks like the paint is cracking. Judging by these bolts here, which are not correct, this has been removed and repainted and replaced, which explains why the paint is cracking and probably chipping, because they don't typically chip quite that bad, especially not with these miles. But that said, none of this looks recent, so that total loss, we're still kind of at a loss, so to speak, here. Power goes through all four wheel, blah, blah, blah. Well, here they call it a command track, so somebody's just copy and pasted the wrong thing. Whoop. Just side note, this Porsche 993 that just ended here was absolutely beautiful. It's restored by Porsche Monterey. If you guys want to see me do a Porsche video, I can do that as well. So here we've got the Carfax. Let's see what it says. Yeah, that total loss, of course. 3 owners. That doesn't always mean it's correct. There was an accident in 2001, a rear end collision, even though it shows a frontal picture. In 2009, it doesn't say much here. Well, we'll see what it says in a minute for that total loss in 2012. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought I read that as more recent. So that may be. It was originally delivered to Warren, Michigan. That's in the Detroit area. Not a good place for rust by any means, but didn't last too long there. It was December of 99 and was already in Virginia in June of 2001, and then at an auction as a fleet vehicle not long after. It was a rental vehicle? I'm gonna bet that's incorrect. So you can't, Carfax 25 years ago is very hard to trust, and I think this is probably a good example of that. It's possible that it was a rental. I can pull up a build sheet. In fact, maybe I'll do that in a moment here, and see if it listed as an original rental. But a limited with a decent number of options on it would be a very strange rental. Kind of bounced between auctions in states, not that unusual, in 2001 and 2002. A little weird that it took this long for the current owner to buy it. But still, they bought it. They're in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, which I think is near Philadelphia, and then it ended up in Delaware, so mid-Atlantic. There's a rear end collision, damage to front. Oh, so it hit a car. Never mind. Let's see. These are old services in the DC area, so it's down there as well. Some, marginally better climate than Philadelphia, but we're splitting hairs here. It looks like it lived in DC for a moment, which helps explain the miles are, relatively low for sure. That's, what they put on, less than 5,000 a year. Let's see, it's now in Delaware. Again, very low miles in Delaware at this point. I mean, we're just, eking on miles at this point. I don't know if I can make eking work like that in a sentence, but I'm going to. They actually were servicing a dealer in 2020, and then nothing else. All right, let's kill that. We've got some videos. I'll watch these later if there's, actually a lot of videos. There's those huge subwoofers. We'll see. If there's anything worth noting, I will add it at this point. Otherwise, let's keep reading or watching here. 161 photos. These are really sharp. These are nice photos. I'm going to guess they use the professional service, but we'll see. Paint looks phenomenal. The Jeep badge looks a little high on the header panel to me. It should be a little lower. So I'm guessing it had a little front end bump. I mean, this we know something's been done down here with the bumper. But again, that's probably where the total loss, I guess it said there's receipts. We'll get to that in a second. But honestly, this car looks really nice. If you're looking for a driver. Yeah, you can see here how this just doesn't fit right at all. Antenna's bent. That's an easy fix. Just bend it back. I think this was the hero shot, if I remember correctly. It looks good. Side view, we're seeing little scratches here. Black is, of course, very difficult to keep looking good. Roof rack's got some fade on it, but they always did. Even ones that have been really garaged have that. Love these old, these Delaware low number license plates. They're just so cool. Or just the Delaware plates in general, I guess. It works really well with the black vehicle, actually. The badges I'm looking at here, they all look like they're in the right spot to me. So I'm not sure it's had a rear end thunk. I'm not sure what's going on with the third brake light here. It's real dark. It might be just, I have no idea. I think it's just a polarizing filter. Rear looks nice. I mean, it looks really good, actually. The paint has a nice, orange peeling to it. Some fingerprints around the doors here. Somebody could have done a better job cleaning, I guess, but looks great up front. Got the headlights on. There's that chrome panel. The screws in here are a little bit rusty, but not unexpected. Yeah, this all looks great. I mean, some marks. It's not. They've just done a basic wash on this, which is fine. Those made in Austria fog lights. Those were original. I actually didn't notice. Were they both the original? No, this one's been replaced. That's an interesting point. I'm not sure which fog light this is, but one of them has been replaced. And one of them, this is an OEM, is the made in Austria. I just always thought that was funny that they were made in Austria. Taillights, everything looks good back here. I'm just looking at some of these spots here to see if it looks like it's been touched in at all with paint. There's some bubbling here, but it might just be dirt, or it might just be the photo. But the tailgate does not have a painted look to me. That's the antenna there for the aftermarket alarm. The windshield wiper arms should be painted. Those are not hard to do. Pull them off, strip them, paint them correctly. they'll last another 25 years. Certainly the windshield's been replaced. I mean, I can tell that the way that the seal here doesn't fit right, but I mean, 25 years old, that's what you expect. A little scuff on the mirror. Looking at glass, we've got a Safeguard. That's a Chrysler glass there. Let's see if we see the others. That's an aftermarket glass on the driver's window. Love to know if that's due to a crash or a break-in, either one. We've got a heated mirror. That was an option. Make sure the other one matches. Can't see the window marks here. Just given all the wrecks, I would love to know more about the history here. I'm sure we'll get to it. We've still got another 130 photos to go. I mean, these are really nice photos. It's it's not a perfect Jeep. It looks like it was just washed too. It's still a little bit wet. I mean, here we're just seeing, this is low on the door, so this is where they all chip. I would imagine a good detailer would make this thing look great. Rear bumper's got a scuff. You can actually buy these painted in black. I'm sorry, finished in shiny black, not painted, and they look great. Rear bumper's been painted at some point, or the corner, because that's not, I don't think they typically peel like that. In fact, was the light? No, I was going to say it was cracked. I'm not sure what's going on here. That mark might just be a reflection. Good job with the photos. We can breeze through these because I don't see anything alarming. I'm keeping in mind here, of course, that this is a 25-year-old car at this point. Badges all look original. They're the shinier, which was correct for a limited this year. In fact, they retained that even as they combined classic and limited. They all got the shiny badges, not the matte badges that the classics got. All right, here's the tire. I can't quite find the date code. It must be on the inside. I thought usually white outlines had it on the outside, but maybe I'm just missing it. Either way, some little scuffs, but nothing major. This back wheel actually looks better. This one looks good too. One of the caps has popped off of the lug nuts that Chrysler used were very soft. Yeah, I haven't seen a date code. I've really been looking. 225/70 is the correct size. All right, we're heading inside here. Somebody's added an aftermarket tweeter. That's in the factory location, but it is an aftermarket. It looks a little different. The grille for the factory more matches that horizontal element to it. Otherwise, door panel looks good. Keeping in mind, of course, 125,000 miles. Same over here. We'll see if there's detailed pictures of the inside of the door lips. So I did notice, you guys can't see it because my screen's cutting off just the way I have it here. I don't know if I move this up. Yeah. Why have I never done that? There is some rust forming right here. I don't think we could see that on the drivers. Oh, no, we could. Right there. There's definitely some rust. Mid-Atlantic, not unusual for a vehicle that's been used. Let's see. Seat looks really good, though. Some cracking. Wasn't the greatest leather. Looks great, though. Power driver's seat. That's a little bit of a tear. That's the worst spot, unfortunately, because this you can kind of fill in and clean up. That all looks good. Something's on this. You could probably clean that off, I would think. Yeah, with a good detail, a more thorough detail, this would look great. Looks good back here. I do see factory floor mats. This is an aftermarket one on top of a factory, at least I think. We've got orange needles, which means it was stored indoors, because those will fade pretty quickly on anything that wasn't. So this certainly lived its life in garages for the most part, I would think. We've got the wood grain trim that was on limiteds, and in 2001 was on ones with leather as well. And if we want to be really pedantic, it was on the 97 countries. Gauges, 123, almost 124,000 miles. They missed the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Would have been a fun picture. Bit of fading on the needles over here. So it's sat somewhere where it got just enough sun on the left side. But, I'm nitpicking. Let's see, here's that aftermarket head unit. I would personally just throw this away. Actually, if I had to guess, this is probably a fairly high-end one when new, but I don't really know these. Just XM radio. Or XM Riddy, that's funny. Very big deal in 2002 or so. This little bit here is it's a part of the foam that's in the vents. You can just pop this off, and I just did a hand motion. You guys can't see it. You just pop this panel off and just vacuum that out, clean all of it out. It's unfortunate that it's disintegrated, but it happens to all of them. It's got the lighter, so it had the smoker's package. This looks like it's just some crud on the gear lever here. Maybe a scuff, but it looks like something sticking up. Yeah, with a better clean, this would look great. This looks like a vehicle that somebody's driven. Something got glued or stuck to the inside here. You clean this out easily. Just unscrew it and take it in your house and give it a scrub. This all looks good. One note here, it does not have the limited slip differential. I haven't pulled the build sheet yet, but they would have a sticker there. I mean, it's possible somebody removed it, but not a big deal. I see the overhead console. That was included on 2000 Limiteds. I believe that was standard. I could look all this up, but I'm going on memory today. I don't actually see any rust under this door. I do see a lot of overspray from some kind of a cleaner here, and like I said, these windows just look too dark to me. So I think there's a tint over the factory tint here. With the overhead console, it is definitely, you would want to recover this. Not really a big job. It's a pretty easy thing to remove, but we'll see if we get a better headliner picture. Back seat's got some scuffs, but looks good overall. I did see that subwoofer. You're not going to get a lot of trunk space here. Or cargo space, I should say. Rear seat looks good. The lap belt is probably just wedged under there. And here's the seat belt there. I just recently learned that these have, I must have forgotten this, but there's a little strap right here that you're supposed to hook the seat belt around so that it doesn't do this, where it gets caught in the hinge. Overhead console's got a lot of little scuffs on it, but, you know, just from life, I guess. It doesn't give off the ultra preserved vibe, but it definitely has been well kept, at least appearance-wise. Some scuffs here. You know, this is, again, where people have used it to move things, you know. Weird little aftermarket floor mat. A little bit of rust forming on the what do you call it, the seat base here. Somebody's random pen has fallen there. These floor mats are original, which I like to see. This carpet could easily be cleaned. Those are just beverage stains. Would not be a big job to do that. It's got some pet hairs in here, so if you're pet sensitive, be aware. It has had a white dog in it at some point. But, you know, nothing that a hour of carpet cleaning, 20 minutes of carpet cleaning would make this thing look amazing. That is a lot of subwoofer and a spare, or a compact spare. I think this rear bumper's been repainted. It's just too clean. That's the original. Why did I say it was a compact? I don't know. For some reason, I think it's just because the way the spare cover was sitting. It's a full-size spare. I'm silly. It also had the cargo cover, because this is the attachment right here, and right there, and right there. You can kind of see them. The ones that did not have the the cargo cover did not have this little guy right there. So it was there once. They're not very good covers. It wasn't retractable. Somebody has put the what do you call it? Amplifier attached to the back of the seat. There it is. Not a big fan of that myself, but there's two of them. I don't really know enough about period car audio. That one has 1600 watts, and that one has 600. Maybe one's for the subwoofer. I don't know. We've got a VIN sticker, and this is the tailgate, and a little crack. Somebody's tightened this down a little too much. That's actually not the correct screw, right there. So somebody's used a different screw and tightened it too much. A little bit of corrosion. This is a very common spot. It's the hitch, or I'm sorry, not the hitch, the tailgate hook in there. Oh, we're under hood here. There's a little bit of rust on every one of the fasteners and some dust, but nothing major that I'm seeing here. Hopefully we get some better pictures. Still got 60 to go, so I'm sure we will. That all looks good. Brake fluid might be a little dirty. Just dirty. Nothing that wouldn't clean up. A little bit of corrosion on all the metal, all the exposed metal here. Not bad. That is an aftermarket or a replacement air conditioning compressor, a Denso. It's not the factory one. Which 24 years you'd expect. Yeah, this would not be hard to clean up. Got a AAA battery, which I think is new, they said. Somebody sprayed that anti-corrosion stuff. We've got some replacement hoses. This is all stuff you expect. There's that compressor. That's not new, but it's not original either. Alright, we're underneath. There's some sort of a bug here, it looks like. We've got a little bit of rust on the bolts here, but nothing major at all. This is actually really nice. This is cleaner than I expected underneath, especially given it spent a year in Michigan, apparently. This is the front end. Somebody's resealed the front differential here. But that's it. The rest of this all looks original. Even the steering stabilizer is pretty old there. This needs a little bit of grease right in there. It's just greasy. Nothing that looks bad. I mean, it's got some rust on it. This isn't a preservation class Cherokee, but The sway bar links should go. Those are easy to fix. We're at the rear here. It looks a little wet maybe. This is the Chrysler 8 1/4. It's a non-ABS truck, so that's what it had. Later ones all had the Dana 35 the very last few months, but this is not that late. A little bit of rust on the differential. Or, I'm sorry, on the axle. No skid plate. Stock shocks here. I'm sure they're ready for replacement. We see oh my gosh, these bushings are just trash. Get rid of those as soon as possible. I mean, this is all really minor stuff though. I'm adding up in my head less than $500 worth of work to bring this to a really nice level. And I mean, a few $100 for a detailer, and a few $100 for shocks and sway bar bushings. Exhaust is a little rusty, a little old, although muffler looks newer. I don't know if Delaware has inspections. This does not have California emissions on it. I forget if in 2000, in 2000 they definitely did 2 versions of the Cherokee. So if you are going to take it to a state that still needs you to do California emissions on a 2000, this one might cause a challenge, but probably not. December of 99, so actually December 1st, so it actually ended up at the dealer quite quickly, although it was built in Toledo and shipped to the Detroit area, so not a surprise. There's an upside down owner's manual. That must be so hard to read upside down. My goodness. Terrible joke. All right, let's zoom in on some of these. We can't read them anyway, but they had an original 7-year extended service plan, so they bought it probably at a Chrysler dealer that did that. A service from Delaware. Hopefully we get scans of some of these. 2 aftermarket keys with aftermarket Viper alarm remotes. I do not like aftermarket alarms one bit. And also aftermarket keys is kind of surprising, but there's the floor mats. That is one driver's side floor mat, very dirty, one aftermarket floor mat, one rear floor mat. Oh, there's the other 2. I don't think you get the license plate, unfortunately. I don't know what the mushy is in there. I don't know much about Delaware plates. Why do they have all the holes? Is that to mount on different things? Or is that because they used to replace the numbers? I don't know. I should go back here. It looks like a little bit of rust or something under there. Hard to say. It might just be dirt. All right. Here we're getting into service record. This is 2012. Oh my, I wasn't going to read it, but they did $11,000 worth of work. What in the heck did... Okay, yeah, body repair. Repair front panel. Remove and install all trim, prep, and paint entire vehicle. Oh, so the whole thing's been painted. Huh. Well, that's interesting. They did a good job. It looks factory. Okay, so this was the total loss, I guess, in 2012. This is big. Supplement to body work paint. Purchase of front panel, hood, rear bumper and corner. Roof repair from hail damage. Replace all emblems. All right, well, they did it correctly. And they got them in the right spots, it looks like. And even re-pinstripe it. Pinstripe. 2 remotes and calibration for alarm. Junk. Looks like they did some work on maybe on the AC, but nothing major. All right, that's big. A repaint. It was only 11 years old. I am a little surprised they spent $11,000, $12,000 almost, on a 12-year-old Jeep. It was done by Jeff Daniels, Jeep Customizer, a Jeep specialist in. That's Philadelphia, somewhere around there. Wow. Oh, and they did more. Some sort of bushing, some sort of steering gear. Huh. Rear axle bumper. Oh, that's the bump stop, I'm guessing, is what that means. Water pump. I mean, this is mechanical stuff I'm not worried about, but wow, head bolts? Rear main seal? They just did a ton of work on this. Some gasket removers. So they did gasket. Well, I mean, obviously they did. They had the engine apart here. Did this specify? No, it didn't say anything about exactly what they did. Well, maybe that's this one. AC not working properly. Compressor was replaced. Rear brakes, front wiper, no delay, doesn't rest at bottom. Replace grille and rear bumper corner painted to match used parts, maybe. Liftgate shocks, new key fob, full paint, same color. Remove stickers from window. Headset, oil filter, pan gasket, muffler tailpipe. Yes, a lot of the stuff I thought was replaced has been replaced. It just was a while ago. And that was with 106,000 miles. So yeah, it has basically not been used since then. Here's the Old service contract, which was issued in 1999. So that must have been transferable to the first owner. I'm not going to read it, but it must have been transferred. Yeah, that's why I didn't think this was a. I didn't think this was a actual rental car. They wouldn't have done that. This is very hard to read, but it's probably pretty old. I'm surprised they left a signature on here. That's $1,000. Oh, that's for the warranty. That's why it's so hard to read. Well, that was the original owner. Let's see. How is this so hard to read? That looks like it says 04, 06. I don't know. Oh, it's 57,000 miles. Oh, maybe it's just saying that they used the service contract. So what did they do here? Brakes, battery, brakes. All right, this is hardly worth reading. A diff service, steering system, coolant flash. So hard to read. Rotate, balance, air filter. This is just an old service. I'm going to sort of breeze through this because we have another 30 here, and some of these are very old. I mean, I find old service interesting, but unless it's a major job, I'm not going to go, I'm not going to waste everybody's reading. That's a 5-year-old vehicle, so it shouldn't have been huge. Nice that they included it. There was a windshield was done in 06, okay. The bumper expansions, the bumpers were, I guess, painted in 07. Well, that's irrelevant. Yeah, a lot of this is just irrelevant. $23 oil changes. Air conditioning they had some problems with in 07. Again, let's skip through this. 07. Here's back to that Jeep place. Whenever look over, check exhaust, radio, driver door catch, steering components. Fix any problems, AC not working. Oh, this is, a lot of this is what was there before. So these are not in a very useful order here. This actually, I think, is a repeat of the one that was there before. 2012, checked for belt squeal, replaced bearing and belt tensioner, pulley adjusted belt, AC leak. All right, I mean, this is not a big service. Here we have another body shop one from 2013. So here's what they did. The front air deflector, front bumper assembly, header panel. I wonder if this was just out of commission for a year. Because they did a lot of paintwork, I'm a little concerned about the frame, rack setup, and pull for mash. I'm guessing that means that they put it on a frame straightener. Because, I mean, even though it doesn't, have a separate frame, it still is something you have to straighten out if it was wrecked. I would love to see if there's pictures of the wreck in it here. An alignment, who cares about this in 2013? 2013, another belt squeal, AC. They had a lot of AC problems. I'd love to know if the AC is still working. I mean, again, some of these are pretty old, but another AC. Air compressor was replaced. Interesting that the air compressor was replaced not that many miles ago, and yet there's that corrosion on it. U-joints for the front and rear diffs. Oil change, that's nothing major. A headliner, I didn't see a picture of the headliner, but it was replaced. Those are double the price now. Right front window maybe. Left rear window. So there's some window issues, but this was still a while ago. 2017, noise when turning the wheel to the left, could not duplicate. Serpentine belt was glazed, so they had minor stuff here. So here's the O2 sensor that was replaced in 2018. I hope that's not what they're referencing as recent. Oil change. It failed the Delaware inspection for rear brakes. They did those. That's quite the inspection Delaware must have. This was in 2020. And back to the AC. Yeah, I'd love to know if there's AC was a problem for this vehicle. And here's back to the original. No pictures of the wreck. Whatever happened there, definitely something to ask about. But overall, I'm amazed at the quality of that paint job and the fact that they got the side badges on just right. I mean, at first glance, I don't know about the Jeep badge on the front there. That's obviously in the wrong spot. But anyway, thanks as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a few things. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you like these and like the video for sure. Share it with your friends. Let me know if there's any vehicles you want me to take a look at. All right, and if you bought this vehicle, definitely reach out to me, or if you were the seller. All right, thanks a bunch.